I think we can all agree that he's made an immense impact on all of our lives. And to know him for 3 years and to see all of you who have known him for way longer says a lot.
30.
30. Whoa.
There you go.
30.
It says a lot. And I met Frank and I knew of him from Lena, who, as per Frank, tonight is my dance partner and Mila's my dance partner as well. So we'll see about that after a few drinks. But I do want to put a special thank you to Frank because over these past 2 years that I've been working with him, I've had the pleasure of learning a lot and getting to know all of you, which is not what most people can say in my age. So I really want to thank you for that.
Just do it.
One thing I want to let you know, and you probably all know it already, but what everyone doesn't want to say out loud, Frank does say. And I'm constantly reminded that I have to smell the rosemary because my memory is going away. It's really not about me, it's about this sort of a positive that your memory is amazing, unlike no other, I have to say. So I'm gonna do a little cheers. Cheers to happiness, health, and joy surrounding all of us, and thank you all for coming.
Cheers. But thank you all. Frank has looked after us since we arrived here in Canada. I've been in Canada for 3.5 years now, and I've known Frank for almost 3.5 years. So it's been lovely. He keeps on encouraging us, and every time we go to a different hotel, it's like, what have I done wrong? But no, it's Frank, thank you. We have a big diaspora here in Canada, and you all make our life worth it. Coming here, seeing what you've done, seeing what you've built, is a joy to see. I know there are others that have been building, but you are our conduit. You are the thing that brings us together. So without you and people like you, it would be much harder for us here in Canada to find our way. So thank you, Frank. Thank you for the. I hope you don't go into retirement. I don't know what we will do here. Here's to the next 20 to 30.
I was sitting there and I'm trying to think. I'm like, when did I meet Frank? And I have to say, probably 2014. We hosted the Governor of the Bank of Canada here. And so I've known Frank for a long time. And I agree with everything. The man knows everything. The man knows everyone. And when I took on my new role as president at the Oakville Chamber, one of the very first calls I got, Madame President. And I do have a funny story though. A year ago, Frank was celebrating his 79th birthday. And he calls me, Madame President, I've been speaking to the Premier, he's going to come. I'm like, great, this is good news, Frank. So I phoned my colleagues and I said, Premier told Frank he's going to come in April. Then he says, great. She phones the Premier's office, talks to their team, and the team's like, oh, no. The Premier's schedule is fixed and doesn't, we will come to Oakville, but not at this time. So Faye emails me back and says, the Premier has no plans right now to come to Oakville. I said, oh, no. The Premier phoned Frank to wish him happy birthday and said he's coming. So we phoned the Premier's travel office again, or the team that looks after his schedule, and said, you know, Mr. Vismeg, Frank Vismeg said that, no, the Premier said he would come. And the guy on the other end of the phone goes, who? Well, you know, Frank Vismeg. Writes it down without a word of a lie. 3 hours later, we get a call from the Premier's, whatever they call them, travel. The Premier will be coming to Burlington in April. Thank you, Mr. Vismeg. I hope you still call me, Madam President.
So I want to say something, Frank. You know, it's hard for a lot of us here. I don't know if you're the oldest in the group here, but in spirit you're very young for sure. But to hear Roseanne, how old are you, Roseanne? Under 30. Yeah, Roseanne, you never ask her
There
age.
you go. Yeah.
But to have to keep up to an 80-year-old. There's not too many people that you have to keep up to at your age, and I have to tell you, from the first time we met, I met you and Jack in my office in 2015. This was just an idea. This was not a reality. We sat at the table, me, you, and Jack. We had an idea about something. You said you had this piece of land in Burlington. I don't really travel to Burlington that much, but you know, once I joined here, I could see why you'd want to put a hotel here. It's an amazing place to live for sure, and work and play. So I said, I don't know if you remember when I met, I said, you know, we're gonna put something special today. It's the luckiest day of all of our lives because we're gonna make something special. And through that process in creating this wonderful hotel, I got to meet a really genuinely very kind-hearted, real kind man that I'm gonna have as a friend for a very long time. So Frank, I know we built a hotel, but I think we built a friendship, which is better.
So, I also was trying to figure out how long I've known Frank. And I think it's around 7 years, maybe 8 years. Maybe more? Okay, Mary says more. So, the way in which I met Frank was that some years ago, I was interested in running in politics and being elected. And I had decided that I wanted to represent this community. And I was getting advice from people in the community as to who I should speak to. So I had gathered a rather long list of people in the community that I should go to and basically ask permission about my plans to run in our community. So the very first 2 people I met with were Frank and Jack. So we had a coffee or a breakfast here at the Burlington Convention Center, and I met Frank and I met Jack. So Frank gave me the encouragement. I then built a little bit more of a following in our community. We built an incredible team, and then I ran for the nomination. But running for the nomination is probably in many ways even more competitive than running in an election. So particularly in communities like this, which we know are highly conservative. So I ran in the nomination. We had the nomination meeting actually at the Burlington Convention Center. There were 3 other candidates at the time that were running. And one of the candidates got a little bit upset with me because I had rented half the convention center with big banners with my name on it. And the other half, that was Sonia, yeah. The other half was where the actual election was going to be taking place. So some of my competitors complained to Frank. Frank ignored them and said, she rented out the other space. What is the problem here? And so that was sort of the beginning of our love affair, Frank and I. And I'm one of these people where Frank needs to have your phone number. He needs to know where you are at all times, what your email is. And every time he would track me down because my number kept changing. And I kept saying, Frank, this is the latest one. Ignore all the other numbers, call me on this one. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. And then he'd say, have you forgotten me? What's going on? Don't you remember me anymore? So I would say that amongst the many people you meet in politics, Frank has got to be one of the most committed conservatives, die hard, right through his DNA, one of the most intelligent about politics, because he tells you the straight goods, he tells you the truth, and as politicians, you know, some of us are a little thin-skinned, so sometimes we don't want to hear it, but Frank is always honest, always direct, and he always tells you the truth, and it's so important, particularly in politics, to hear that from your friends, because you know no one else will really tell you the truth. He also believes in very large lawn signs. So because I happen to also have a last name that is 17 letters long, I have to order really big signs. And bless him, Frank would put them on the lawn of the Burlington Convention Center and the hotel. Sorry, Dom. Sorry, Dom.
It's all good.
And even though he'd occasionally get a crank caller who's complaining about those signs, he would never take them down. It's my sincere pleasure to extend a cheerful 80th birthday wishes to Frank Vismeg. Congratulations on this significant milestone. I wish you good health and happiness as you celebrate family, friends, and accomplishments on a remarkable life.
I could spend a lot of time, but I'll try to be brief. I met Mr. Vismeg in the early 80s. I was a young kid at the Howard Johnson Toronto Airport Hotel. Since then, Mr. Vismeg was a friend, a colleague, a mentor, super nice guy, a hospitality professional. It's been alluded a little bit, a salesperson, a marketer. There isn't ever a business card that he hasn't given out in hundreds at any function. And there isn't a camera that Mr. Vismeg doesn't like. Mr. Vismeg in his 80 years and in his years in hospitality, there's been ups and downs and challenges and long hours and perseverance and dedication. There's been the Howard Johnson years, there's been the Jamaica, there's been the Bahamas, there's been the Romania. I was there before Sonia and Frank went to Romania. There was, when he came back, there's opening the Courtyard here and the team that he's put together and his influence. And all these years, Mr. Vismeg has kept in touch. Doesn't matter where he's been. There was an email, a phone call, and I owe a lot to Mr. Vismeg, apart from the fact that the hospitality perspective, but he's a great human being. And he's the master of making you feel guilty. That's not great. So anyway, my friend, my colleague, in front of all of you, I wish you all the best, and I hope that we are friends for many more years and you continue to make an impact as you have in all of our lives, especially my life. So thank you.
Thank you. First and foremost, we would like to thank Sonia because she was preparing this for such a long time. And I really want to thank her because really Mr. Vismeg has nothing to do with this. So Sonia, thank you very much. I will not say much, but I joined in June 2nd of 2022. I thought I know sales. I've been in sales for 37 years until I met this man. Every day, without fail, we go to the figures. We go to Madame Thomas. Did you see the rate today? I said, I'm just checking on my emails. There you go again. You are not listening. What is the priority? And so I said, I know, Mr. Vismeg, let me go through first my emails. How will you sell this place? How will you sell? If you don't look at the figures, you don't look at the competition, we will not be ahead. So I turn around. Okay, Mr. Vismeg, let us do the rates and let us do the this, and all. Now you understand what is the competition, what is this, and finally, we are actually number one. And so I have to agree that this semi-retired guy is still going to be thriving and is still going to be number one. And so, thank you, Mr. Vismeg. Madam Thomas, be early tomorrow.
How much do you know about this?
Numbers.
That's all. So he loved pancakes. And I used to own a golden griddle. And we would meet with Frank and Sonia. And we had a dear friend who passed away, Danny, who was a police officer at 52. And we would sit in the restaurant after it was closed.
He was the strongest man in Ontario.
He was a strong man in Ontario, representing police. And we would sit in the restaurant and chat, and this was, I think, over 20 years ago. So if you think that this young man is all your own, he may be old physically, but he is still a bull. He likes challenges, he goes after challenges, and that's what I mean. He's a strong man for you, celebrating his 30th birthday, and I wish you all the best.
That's it. I came to Canada on October 29, 1968. Didn't speak English, and I don't speak English yet. I didn't learn. I forgot Croatian, I forgot Hungarian. So when everybody asks me what you speak, I say. Even if I speak Croatian, people say, well, you have some Serbian parents or Slovenian or whatever. I have lots of friends. Luis is Slovenian. Life was in Canada different when I arrived here. It's a different Canada was that time. I was 2010 in Australia, and I said if I was 10 years younger, I would go to Australia. I was there at the Skull Congress in Sydney. Because it was same like when I came to Canada, people nicely dressed, they were walking on the streets, the girls were holding boys and flowers. And here in, now everybody walking the dog. What's came here to Canada? Am I right?
I have a dog.
But I hope you go with your wife for a while.
No, she said.
Me and Sonia are. See, Sonia wants one day and she said she might buy a dog. I said, then I can walk. Then can you believe it? Anyway, being with several hotel companies, it was, like Louis said, it was a very challenging. We had a mentor by name Stephen Phillips. God bless him, he has a party up there, and I'm sure he's listening. He always say, take care of number one. And I didn't listen to him, and Louis doesn't listen to him either, because we take care of the business number one, because we have a pride when we manage something that we take care of that. And family becomes second, and I feel sorry to my kids because I would sometimes work 6 days, long conventions, 6 days, big ones like OST, Ontario School Brussels Federation. They would have breakfast, lunch, dinner, set-up meeting. I live in the airport area, I didn't go home. So life wasn't easy in this when I came here and in this business, especially in the last 2.5 years during the COVID. I never experienced like that. I was lucky we got some business and we survived, but otherwise we wouldn't. So it's a very stressful, very tough job.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for coming.
Thank you.
And may I say short message from the Premier of Ontario. On behalf of the Government of Ontario, I am pleased to extend my congratulations to Frank Vismeg on the occasion of your 80th birthday. On this special day, I wish you a very happy birthday. Doug Ford.